All right, guys, here we are. We are live. Had some technical difficulties getting this stuff going, but we got it going now. And I'm going to do something I rarely do. I'm going to kick this thing off with Steve's matchup. Still, by far, the weirdest and definitely gayest team name in the league, Gorlock the Destroyer, who Steve has some sort of weird sexual obsession with. I think we all know that Steve's trying to get pounded down by Gorlock. That's what's going on. That's why he has that as his team name. And now it's some weird superstitious thing where like it's just enveloped his life. He's sitting there. Nobody else knew who this was. Steve knew the name of this creature and decided that he was just going to make his life about him, her, it, whatever the hell it is what it is. Let's dive into the matchups. We'll get, we don't really need to dive too much into Steve's well-known tranny proclivities here. Josh Allen at the Colts should be a good matchup, but I do worry about the Bills just boat racing them and potentially seeing a heavy ground attack in this one. Garrett Wilson, great matchup against Arizona. Zay Flowers should do fine tonight. Khalil Shakir should be fine. Jonathan Taylor, smash matchup. He should kill it. Tracy, smash matchup. TJ Hawkinson's still not playable, in my opinion. I know it's an easy matchup, but like Hawkinson's going to be on the field like 30-40% of the snaps. He was a terrible pickup. That's all there is to it. The guy's not worth using probably until next season. At best case scenario, week 15, 16, he'll be usable. Steve's going to roll him out anyway. He's not going to do much. There you go. Let's bold prediction Steve's side of things. I'm going to say Tyrone Tracy puts up 2 touchdowns this week en route to an RB1 finish. Not RB1 overall. We'll get to that later, but an RB1 finish. Now, Paul's team, God bless Paul for trying. He's given it his best effort. It looks like Devonta Smith now has a hammy issue. Hopefully he's practicing today. I don't know that for sure, though. Michael Pittman Jr. is droppable. Don't really need to roster him. He scored 1.4 last week, 1.6 the week before. Those were in super easy matchups, and now he faces a tough matchup. I don't see how you can have him in your lineup or even on your team. I would go ahead and cut him loose. I would definitely also play Kirk Cousins at New Orleans. New Orleans has given up. They're going to boat race New Orleans. Cousins going to have a mega game. I would start Cousins. But let's go bold prediction. I'm going to say DeAndre Hopkins goes under 40 yards without a touchdown against Denver. I know he just had a big game. He didn't do that against Pat Surtain. D-Hop, too old, too slow to keep up with Pat Surtain. And guys, I don't do this very often, but Steve's getting the dub this week. Looks like just too big of a gap in talent between these two rosters. Now, we got big-ass TDs versus Lamb of Godwin, and, Kevin is giving it his best effort, man, and I love to see it. CeeDee Lamb, I don't know, Tony. You might want to get his name out of your team name. When you put guys in your team name, they tend to keep getting hurt. So, now you're Lamb of Godwin, and Godwin's out for the year. I would, CD has survived to this point, but he has a banged up shoulder, and you got Dak killed. So Dak had his hamstring ripped off the bone. Awful to see. Doesn't kill CD's value, but CD should be viewed as a high-end wide receiver 2 moving forward, not an elite wide receiver 1. Now, who might be an elite wide receiver 1? I know you think I'm going to say Cooper Kupp, Tony, but I'm not saying Cooper Kupp. I'm saying Rome Odunze. I feel like Odunze is going to be that guy for the Bears moving forward. They should certainly feature him. He's had over 7 targets in a game only twice this year. Both times he went over 100 yards. Meanwhile, DJ Moore has done that in 6 games, and he has 1 game over 100 yards because DJ Moore sucks ass. Rome Odunze is awesome. They should feature Rome Odunze. Bijan Robinson at New Orleans is a smash spot. Breece Hall should do just fine against Arizona. My bold prediction here is that the LA Chargers defense throws up yet another 18 spot against the crappy Titans offense. Now, speaking of the crappy Titans offense, we got Tony Pollard against those Chargers. It's a tough matchup, but Pollard is a must play based on volume. Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin, really tough matchup against Pitt. They're not going to perform the way they usually do. Brian Robinson Jr., I don't know how the hell you could have this many Washington Commanders and play all of them against Pitt. That is brutal. So let's just bold prediction this thing for Kev here real quick. His Commanders combined for less than 30, even though he has a quarterback, a wideout, and a running back in that. Less than 30 fantasy points. And route to Tony Jr. getting the dub. I do think Ramondre Stevenson goes off against the Bears, though, because the Bears just can't defend the run. And we just lost our best run defender, Andrew Billings. So, yeah, Ramondre's going to have a day. Now, DK Country versus Cursed by the Old Gods. We got Old Man Joe versus Angry Jew Jared. This is just a battle of hatred. Like, if you heard the shit Joe was talking about you and your fantasy team, it's ridiculous. He said Tua and Tyreek ain't shit. He said they're not going to do anything. I think they're a little better than that, but Joe says they're a laughing stock. He said you're a laughing stock, Jared. So what are you going to do about it? I don't know. I don't know how you can put up with this level of disrespect from Joe. But I applaud Joe for stepping out of his shell and talking this smack. He said specifically to tell you in this video that you need to shut your stupid mouth and that your haircut looks stupid. That's what he said. So I'm looking here at stupid haircut Jared's team. And he's got Aaron Jones, Alvin Kamara, both good matchups. Jalen Waddle is not playable. I'm sorry. He's just not. He's not the wide receiver 1. That's Devon Achane. He's not the wide receiver 2. That's Jonnu Smith. He's not the wide receiver 3. That's Tyreek Hill. So there you go. Now, Ladd McConkey, love what he's been doing lately. I think that continues. Bold prediction, Mike Gesicki goes for 80 yards and a score tonight against Baltimore and is a great tight end stream. Now, I look over at Joe's team. He got hustled, and he's got Josh Downs, who's, just a horrible football player. Keenan Allen, again, not playable. I know he's got an easy schedule, but let's take a look here. He played the Rams, who are the 7th easiest team in football against wideouts. He scored 1.9. He played the Carolina Panthers. He scored 3.3. He played Washington. He scored 3.9. He played Arizona. He scored 3.6. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who he's playing. He sucks. He's cashed. He's washed. It's done. Just give it up. I'm giving up on DJ Moore. The only reason he's not in free agency right now is because I'm a Bears fan. If he was on any other team, I'd have cut him. Deebo Samuel has got to be my bold prediction at Tampa Bay. No Brandon Ayuk. Jawan Jennings is still banged up. Christian McCaffrey getting reacclimated. That means to me that they're leaning on Deebo. Niners are the highest projected point scorer this week. I expect Deebo to put up, I'm going to say 20-plus fantasy points in this one as he just goes to town on Joe's Bucks. Now, who's going to win this matchup? Man, I don't know. I don't know if the fantasy gods are going to like all the shit Joe's been talking. I don't know. But I'm going to give the nod here. This is the tightest matchup of the week. I'm going to give the nod to Joe here because Joe had the courage to step out of his comfort zone and shit talk you, Jared. And unless you respond, I got to give it to Joe. Joe basically grabbed your pocket in the prison yard. You're basically his bitch right now. You got to do something. Now, The Patriarch versus Worthy of Our Trust. I'm not going to spend much time on this because Trey doesn't spend any time on this at all. Senior's going to win. It's going to be easy. I guess I'll give you guys a bold prediction on each side, but then I'm moving on. Bold prediction, Lamar Jackson scores 30-plus fantasy points tonight against Cincinnati. The first matchup with Cincinnati, he scored 34.46. I think he can top that tonight. 35-plus Lamar Jackson tonight en route to Tony Sr. getting the dub. I'm not covering Trixie. Now, we've got the Globo Gym Purple motherfucking Cobras versus Steve Top Senior Bottom with a picture of Senior holding a bunch of cats. Now, it's not wise to be facing one of the members of the dynasty and to be shit-talking a member of the dynasty. The fantasy gods don't like it. We have been bestowed this dynasty by the gods themselves. And I, of course, am the Caesar of this dynasty. I am the tribal chief. I am the leader of the clan. How is this going to go? This disrespect you're showing the Welch dynasty? It's not going to go well, Jason. I got Jalen Hurts at Dallas. I got Saquon Barkley at Dallas. You like your odds there? Do you like that, Jason? Justin Jefferson at Jacksonville? Come on, man. You don't want none of that. And the worst part about all this for Jason is that after I beat him this week, he's probably not making the playoffs. And that sucks. You have this super team. It's the best team you've ever assembled in this league. You're not going to make the playoffs, big dog. That's how it's going to go. You're going to lose. And then next week, you're going to lose to Steve, and you're not making the playoffs. So let's go bold prediction on my side of things. It begins and it ends with Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors. They're going to feature him in Germany. They're trying to get new fans. I'm going to say Malik Neighbors goes for 200, over 200 yards. He's getting in the end zone at least once, probably twice, maybe between 3 and 5 times. He's going to slaughter the Carolina Panthers. They have no chance to cover him. Now, on Jason's side of things, yeah, he's got some firepower, but most of it's going tonight. So I'm going to know by the end of the night if this week is already over or not. He's got Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase tonight. They combined for about 67 fantasy points the last time they played the Ravens. I'm hoping the Ravens learned some lessons there, especially with no T. Higgins in this game. Dare anybody else to beat you. Do not let Jamar Chase beat you. Brian Thomas Jr. is unplayable. Mac Jones is going to be the quarterback, and they're playing Minnesota, who are just going to blitz the shit out of them. Not playable. Marvin Harrison Jr., not playable. He's facing Sauce Gardner. That's a nightmare. Derrick Henry is going to beat the shit out of the Bengals because they are a downy soft matchup. They just suck. They're one of the worst teams in football, and I expect them to get their lunch money taken tonight. Bold prediction, Christian McCaffrey scores less than 10 fantasy points. You know why? Because Kyle Shanahan hates you. He hates you. He hates your fantasy team. And you insulted the Welch dynasty. That's not going to play well with the fantasy gods this week as Christian McCaffrey, hate to say it, guys, but we might not see him again for a while after tonight or after Sunday. We might not even see him Sunday. He might get hurt in pregame warmups. So who's going to win? Obviously, I'm going to win, guys. I mean, he's going to have a big night tonight. He's going to think he's got it covered. He's probably even going to peacock a little bit. It's all well and good, Jason. I got 3 huge pieces of firepower going Monday night. Kyren Williams, Puka Nacua, Devon Achane. Maybe you heard of those guys, but they're popping off. They're getting me the W. And there you go, guys. There's your matchup preview. I can't wait to see how Jared responds to all this vicious shit talk from Joe. Talk to you guys soon.